Hi everyone, it's Lisa. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be sharing some craft organization systems, and this time it's going to be for ink pads and markers. I needed a better solution for storing my ink pads and markers because my old system just wasn't working anymore. So I found this company online called Organize More, and they had just what I was looking for. All of their organizers are handmade. They are made out of wood and painted white. I purchased 2 of their 60 standard ink organizers, which you can see there on the left wall, and they are perfect for storing up to 60 standard size ink pads. So for example, you can store your Distress inks in here. You can also store your Spectrum Noir ink pads in here. And your Versamark ink pads will also fit. The Memento ink pads will fit. So just about any standard size ink pads will fit in this unit, such as the Stamps of Life ink pads, My Favorite Things, Simon Says Stamps, Catherine Pooler Designs, Scrapbook.com ink pads, and many more. So I do want to mention that if you have any of the Distress inks, they are a little bit smaller than the standard ink pads, but they will fit. But you will also need to purchase the Distress ink spacer kit, which are these little cardboard sheets that you just fold in half and then fold into like an accordion shape, just as you see me doing here. And then you'll stick that in the very back of your storage unit. So I'll just slide that all the way to the back of this space here. And then when I put my ink pad in, it won't go all the way to the back of that space. Otherwise, if you don't use these spacers, your Distress ink pads might get stuck all the way in the back, and it might be harder for you to take them out. So once you put that ink pad in, now it sits a little bit off of the edge, and it's easy to take in and out of the organizer. And as I mentioned, I did purchase 2 of the 60 ink pad storage units, but they also come in smaller sizes to fit 48 ink pads and even 36 ink pads. The 36 size ink pad organizer does fit the IKEA Kallax shelving unit, and I'll have links to all of these down in the description box below. These organizers can either sit on your desk or you can hang them on a wall just like I did. I hung mine underneath my white IKEA pegboard, and I love how the white colors match perfectly. I also purchased 3 of the standard marker cubbies to hold my Copic markers. These cubbies can hold any markers or pens that you own. The marker cubby is only 13 inches tall, and it will also fit in the IKEA Kallax shelving unit, but I chose to have mine right on my desk so that I have them right within arm's reach while I'm working at my desk. So I organized my markers according to color families, and it's so easy to just find what I'm looking for. So before I ordered the Organize More storage cubbies, I stored my Copic markers in my large desk drawer. And in this drawer, I had 3 of the Copic markers clear storage cases, and I organized my markers vertically in order by color, according to the numbers on the top of each marker. Well, I found that my markers were drying out very quickly, and every time I went to use a marker, it was dried out. And these were markers that I didn't even use that much, and they were drying out. So the only thing I attributed this to was the way that I was storing them, which was vertically rather than horizontally. In addition, when I was finished using my Copic markers, it was taking a lot of time to put them back in order. And whenever I purchased new Copic markers, I always had to take all of the markers out of these bins and reorder them by number. So now I have these Organize More marker cubbies, and I love them. My markers are stored horizontally, so they are drying out less, and it's an easier and more efficient method of organization for me. I also purchased 3 of the mini ink trays. These trays are perfect for your mini ink cubes. They are divided into 6 columns, and they hold up to 60 mini ink pads. These are also designed to fit into some of the IKEA drawer units. I do store mine in the top drawer of my desk, and this is not an IKEA unit. So if you want to store yours in your drawer, just check the Organize More website for the dimensions to make sure that they fit. These trays are also stackable. I actually store all three of them in this top drawer. So you can see this one here has all of my Distress ink mini cubes. And on the bottom tray, I have all of these ink cubes. These are a little bit larger in size. They're not square shaped, they're more of a rectangle, chunky shape. These are actually the old Stamps of Life mini ink cubes, and they fit in here horizontally. And once again, you can now see how they all stack. So I actually have three of them stacked in my top desk drawer. And they're very easy to take in and out as I need them. You can also see on this top tray, I have some of those blender brushes stored in those trays. So I want to show you a little bit more in depth about how I store these ink pads. You can see that all of my ink pads have the name written on the outside, so that when I go to find what ink pad I need, I can see the name, but I can also see the color of the ink pad. So for the Distress inks, Ranger has on their website a color chart with the names. These are actually labels that you can print out, and you can use these on your ink pad. So what I've done is I printed them out on some paper. You can print them out on cardstock. I just printed them out on printer paper. And then I'm going to add the scrapbook.com 8.5 by 11 adhesive sheets to the back side of the labels. And this is going to turn this sheet into a sticker. So I'm just going to add my label sheet directly on top of the sticky side of that adhesive sheet. And now this whole thing is a sticker, so that now I can go ahead and use my paper trimmer and I can cut these down to size. Now I don't have all of these Distress inks, but these are all of the colors. So what I can do is I can just save the ones that I'm not using. That way if I happen to purchase them in the future, I'll have them. But basically I'm just cutting them down into rows, and then I will just take my scissors and then cut each individual label. And what's nice about these pre-made labels by Ranger is they actually have the name as well as the color. So be sure that you print them out in color if you are using these. And I will provide a link to the actual website where you can download these labels if you happen to have the Distress inks or Distress Oxide inks. So I just pop that sticker on. It is a double-sided adhesive sticker, so just peel back the backing and then put it on the ink pad. Now I also have some of these scrapbook.com inks, so any of your ink pads that do not have labels that can be printed out, just take your label maker and type up the name of the ink and pop that label onto the edge of the ink pad. And to get the ink color on the edge so that I can see what ink color it is, just when I go to reach for the ink pad, I just have a little hole punched out of a sheet of paper that has the actual ink color on it. So what I've done here, I'm taking another ink pad. I've already put the name of the ink here using my label maker. And to get that little punched hole, I'm just taking the ink pad. I can actually just rub the ink on some white cardstock, and then I'll just take a hole punch a hole in that cardstock, and then what I can do from that little piece of hole punched paper, I can just take a glue dot and put a glue dot on the back of that and then add that to my ink pad. So for each of my ink pads, I do have a separate ink foam piece that I use and I store. So I just want to quickly just show you how I store them. I have this binder filled with these sleeves. These are just simply baseball sleeves that I picked up off of Amazon. And I cut down a piece of white cardstock to fit inside of the sleeve. So here's a look at the white cardstock. And I also used my label maker and I typed up the name of the ink color. So this one would be antique linen, and I just put that at the bottom of this piece of cardstock. And then I just took some Velcro and I cut a piece of Velcro and adhered it to that piece of cardstock. It does have sticky on the back, so it just sticks to that piece of cardstock, and this little foam piece will stick right on top of that. And you can then just remove it as needed. And then I just put it back in the sleeve, so I just have all of my ink pads in order, arranged alphabetically according to the company. So I will have links to all of these products down in the description box below. So if you're interested in any of these products, please head down to the description box and use my affiliate links. I also have other craft organization videos here on my YouTube channel. If you go into my playlists, you will see all of my craft organization videos, including a full craft room tour listed here on my YouTube channel. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more inspiration. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.